spike, the push forward. The shorties does not connect.
Wait, what?
There's still pulling down. There's no time. There's no time.
There's no time!
GG.
GG! 7-1!
In the 8th week of VCT Americas, Loud's undefeated streak finally fell to none other than their eternal rivals on NRG. Finesse, Victor, and Crashies were looking for revenge after their last 2 encounters, which knocked them out of lock-in and denied them a 2022 championship. Let's take a look at how NRG evolved since the last time they played Loud, and how Finesse read Loud's playstyle and made them look human in their VCT regular season matchup. I'm partnering with Gosu Academy to do a Valorant point and coaching giveaway. Check out the link in the description. Both NRG and Loud normally have very explosive playstyles, but NRG in this series showed amazing counter strats and reads based off of very patient play. Let's go to the first map split where Loud start on defense and NRG start on offense. We've seen Loud be very successful when they take aggressive fights early and transition into strong positioning later into the round. NRG, however, have clearly prepared well. In the first round of split, NRG patiently walked through B main with Victor playing anti-flash, reading the aggression. And this works perfectly, as Victor gets 2 kills for free, essentially winning the pistol round immediately. NRG have a great understanding of Loud's pace and used it against them. In the next round, we see NRG take control of A ramp while maintaining info in mid and B main. Loud initially grouped toward A side in response to the ramp aggression, but NRG waited patiently and Loud moved themselves off of A side. Because NRG continued to hold B main and mid, they know that Loud probably don't have enough info to stack correctly. Once Loud sky flashes B main and learns that there's still someone there, NRG rotate toward A to prepare for an execute. Before Victor leaves mid, he makes sure to make noise and throw a bunch of utility, which actually pulls the final Loud member off of A for a free sight and another round. On the first gun round of the game, we see the same default where NRG takes ramp control while B and mid are held passively. And it's the ramp control again that turns into a first kill onto site and NRG begin to group up A for the execute. By this point in the round, Loud still don't have enough information to confidently move toward A or B, as they're still probing around mid but scared to overextend like they did on pistol round. NRG is definitely down to take a free site, and Loud aren't able to retake with their lack of map control. In those last 2 rounds, we basically saw Loud out-rotate themselves due to clever information control from NRG. By taking ramp control, cutting noise, and denying information on the rest of the map, Loud are having trouble actually setting up for any type of fight. It's in this next round where we start to see some attempted adaptations from Loud. Tuiz smokes deep into B main at the start of the round to try and deny information from NRG's B lurker. He stacks toward mid instead, hoping that NRG don't take the risk to push through the smoke. Because Tuiz is set up to fight mid and has deterred NRG from B main with only his utility usage, Loud take a good fight mid, giving them a reasonable chance to win the round. Despite losing the round due to heroics from Victor, Loud was finally able to set up a play by taking a risk and leaving B main open. In the next round, we see Loud set up to fight for A main, likely to try and do something about the ramp control. NRG this round called a slightly different strat for the anti-eco and decided not to push up ramp. When Loud hear no noise on A, they take the risk and push through A main, which is a play we have seen many times from them. This leads to the B side stack and eventual flank from Sadhak when NRG took too long on the other side of the map. Loud trade down well and push NRG back toward A where they were already prepared, and win the Thrifty by playing the crossfire perfectly. NRG immediately go back to the ramp control the next round, as they realize that they deviated too much from their game plan, which was already working pretty well. Loud haven't really found a real answer to the ramp control when NRG are actually there. In this round, we see Loud try to give up ramp and heaven to double on site instead, but the simultaneous execute from A main and heaven is too much for them, and they lose another round due to lost ramp control. Loud take a timeout after this round and try to come up with a better answer for ramp control, rather than just playing on site. This time around, we see Loud heavily set up to contest A main, with Jet on site while Raze and Sky are contesting the ramp push. But the Sky flash and deep stun covers the box and close angle, and Loud have no chance again. NRG immediately pivot to site after pressuring Heaven, and Aspas isn't able to hold him off of A by himself. NRG continue to successfully convert ramp control into convincing rounds on attack. These next couple rounds are a perfect example of how Finesse calls to stay one step ahead of Loud. Finesse evolves the strategy before Loud have even figured out how to deal with ramp. Loud are so focused on finding an answer for ramp, while Tuis has barely seen an enemy this game as the B anchor. Finesse starts A to continue his default, which denies early A main information from Loud. Shortly afterward, NRG explosively pop out of B main and hit the site. We can see in the next round that Loud are still very focused on ramp, with 3 members toward A Heaven. But Finesse calls for NRG to go B main again and explode onto B, completely tricking Loud. Finesse basically converted the last 2 rounds, only using the threat of ramp control, without even actually going up ramp. But that's not the end of it. In the next round, Finesse throws his same utility in A, while his team walks up silently. In prior rounds, when they took ramp control, they were very loud and explosive with their utility. The situation for Loud looks exactly like those last 2 rounds where NRG exploded onto B. Instead, NRG silently walk onto site and catch Kao and Zine off guard, converting into another 5v4 post-plan situation. We can see the intricate chess game going on that Finesse is playing with his calling, and how he makes sure to stay one step ahead of his own strategy throughout the rounds. Although Loud actually win this round with a very well coordinated retake, you can still see that Finesse knows exactly how Loud are thinking. In the last round of the half, Loud are still fixated on ramp again after the contact play from the last round, and NRG are immediately explosive down mid for the first time in the game. This catches the vent player off guard, and with only 1 more player on B, NRG takes site again. NRG end their offensive half on split up 9-3. Although Loud makes some good attempts in the second half, you need a little more room for error if you're going to come back playing split offense. Unfortunately for Loud, the lead was insurmountable, and NRG dominate the first map 13-5. We go to Pearl for the second map of the series. This time Loud start on offense while NRG start on defense. Loud and NRG also played this map during lock-in, and the map went to triple overtime. We can see some very interesting developments in strategy by both teams since then. The last time they played this map, Loud kept taking mid control uncontested and converted it well into executes. This time around, things looked a little bit different. On round 1, we immediately see NRG fight mid aggressively. Although the fight wasn't a clear win for NRG, this stopped Loud's initial idea and forced them to improvise. It also tries to send a message to Loud, telling them that mid is not free like last time we played. The pressure gives a timing for Victor to walk up B long and take control and information. NRG can confidently stack toward A now, and we're set up well to win this round, but Victor loses a 1v1 on the flank, not expecting Tuis to re-clear so suddenly. In round 2, Loud attempts to use the gun advantage to take B long, but NRG are ready to contest. Loud actually lose a member, somewhat due to luck, as Victor gets a classic spam headshot through the harbor wall. Sadhack makes a great call after Aspas dies, realizing that it's probably not a good idea to challenge the Marshal. Loud immediately work to take both mid links quickly. We can see how losing all the mid control immediately makes NRG panic. Victor tries to fast flank again and dies, while the rest of NRG are stacked A. Although Loud are against an eco, we can still see how comfortable Loud are when they have mid control. Loud basically have a full buy on round 3 because of how well they managed their economy. They work the map in a 3-2 split to take B main and mid, while NRG give up mid control to focus on both A main and B main. We saw the tendency to neglect mid a lot in NRG's last matchup against Loud, but because of the pistol round aggression, Loud are just a little bit more cautious despite both links being completely open in this round. This funnels Loud toward the NRG B stack, and the fight setup was absolutely genius. Let me break it down. Normally you would play anti-flash on this wall very calmly. We can see Loud do it in their match against EG. Les is not worried at all staying turned from the flash since all other options are covered by his teammates. But when the wall comes down, you're forced to hold in front of you because there might be enemies right behind the wall. This is actually a very common way to peek the Viper wall, and we can see Sadhack use the wall drop strategy himself to take a huge fight against NRG in their lock-in match. So Loud are sneaking up on the wall this time, but right before NRG take the fight, Finesse puts down his Viper wall. Loud hears the wall drop sound cue and are inclined to hold it, but NRG combo it with a flash and they completely blind all of Loud. This was basically an evolution of the wall drop peak strategy that Sadhak used against them in Belong during their last matchup. NRG close out the round with the man advantage and info that they obtained with this play. In the next couple rounds, we see Loud start to really abuse the mid control that they realized NRG are giving up. Round 4 turns into a fast A split and good post plant setup, but NRG win the crazy 2v3 retake. Round 5 looks similar and Loud are able to get the bomb down again, but lose to the retake again. Then in round 6, Loud use a slower approach to threaten that they've pushed into connector, but instead calmly walk out onto A and get the bomb down. Loud finally win a round, but we can definitely start to see them take advantage of NRG's lack of mid control. NRG doesn't wait to lose more rounds and takes a great timeout at 3-3 to point out the issue with mid. We can immediately see the 4 stack toward mid this time to deny the control that Loud was getting for free. NRG relentlessly contested both mid links and Loud were never able to take art or door control this round. Even the last kill from Victor in the 1v1 happens when Aspas pushes through the door. This is something we didn't see done well last time, but was immediately identified and fixed this time, leading to a big round. In the next round, NRG threatens some presence into mid, forcing Loud to use more utility into art, but ultimately give it up. Eventually, Loud rotates out of art toward B main, and NRG aren't completely ready because they lacked too much information mid. On round 10, Loud attempts art control again, and NRG continue to show presence in art, but ultimately give it up when no good opportunities are presented. But this exact situation happened 2 rounds ago, and NRG remember that Loud rotated out to B main last time. This time, when Loud cut noise, NRG immediately rotate and 3-stack toward B. Both links are left completely open again, but Loud runs straight into the 3-stack and op, which was originally an art at the beginning of the round. Loud lose the round and call a timeout afterward. Out of the timeout, we see a more patient approach toward art, and they take a lot of control just walking up together. Once they're close with both A main and art control, they pop onto site and take great trades to win the round. I really like the attempt from Sadhak in the following round to try and read NRG, but it just doesn't work out. Loud in the previous round just showed NRG that they converted a full round through art. Sadhak tries to read that NRG are going to look for that mid fight again since they just lost a round to an art split, so he calls an immediate B rush. Unfortunately for them, NRG did not decide to fight for art this round, and all 5 Loud members get stuck B long and eventually flanked by Victor. The first half of this map had a lot of back and forth rounds from both teams, and at this point seemed pretty close. But in the next half, we'll see Loud fall apart a bit, simply unable to deal with the B execute from NRG. On the first gun round of the half, NRG take B long and use Killjoy ult to take site. Take note of this orb from Finesse near back hall, which makes it very hard for Loud to retake, and we'll see it come into effect multiple rounds this half. Even though Loud were able to clear out the B long players, the 2 back hall players who were protected by the orb needed to be dealt with, and they close out the round. NRG go B again on Loud's eco. Finesse actually uses his Viper ult on this round, and NRG start getting spammed. I've talked about using Viper ult against ecos before, and it's usually not great because it makes angles safer for weaker guns. In their last matchup on Pearl, we can actually see how Loud used Viper's ult on B against NRG's eco and lost the round because of it. But in this case, Finesse decides to drop his ult and wall, and all of NRG are peeking Loud while they're exposed trying to take advantage of the ult. On the next round, NRG start with B main control with lurks around mid. It ends in a B split late in the round with 4 Loud members ready to fight near B. 3 members on site get completely blocked out by utility. You can see the Viper utility fully trap Toys in back hall and prevent him from peeking B link or B long to protect himself and help his team. Kalanzine is blocked out of heaven, and once NRG get close, Finesse drops the Viper utility to clear back hall. Loud takes a timeout after this round, and NRG actually go A in the next 2 rounds, likely trying to stay a step ahead of Loud, who are probably talking about how to deal with B. In the first round, they lose to Loud's half buy because they did not account for this insane Killjoy ultimate placement for the retake. Then in the next round, Loud defend A well, and NRG are down numbers, but Saw makes an insane play while stunned by switching to the shorty when Cowanzine tries to push him. NRG go back to B afterward, realizing that they probably should have lost the last round as well. The last 2 rounds of the game are a good summary for how this entire half went down. All of NRG simply just run up B long and deny any attempts to fight for site with utility. Once the bomb gets planted, Loud are having trouble retaking, and the backhaul player is never able to be successfully flushed out. I'd like to have seen more attempts from Loud to fight for B main, rather than wait until NRG ran up site to contest. Once NRG got close to site, they could activate all their utility and the normal site spots were completely nullified. This is exactly what NRG did in this defensive round, for example, where they contest B long before Loud are in position to activate all their utility. Although this was only a regular season game, NRG got their momentary revenge. With playoffs coming soon and spots at Masters and Champions on the line, I'm excited to see how both these teams will perform. I think anyone would be surprised if either of these teams did not become representatives for the Americas this year. If you want to learn to play like a pro, participate in 10-mans, and learn from the world's best coaches, you should sign up for Gosu Academy's Valorant program, which unlocks weekly theory classes and in-depth VOD reviews from amazing top-tier coaches. The program also features an exclusive masterclass lecture from a Tier 1 franchised coach once per month. You'll also be able to participate in weekly Coach 10-mans with other students at your rank, where coaches will help you learn Team Valorant every step of the way. These 10-mans also have an in-house ELO system and monthly prizes, which is exactly the same environment that pros prefer to practice in rather than solo queue. Join Gosu Academy's educational and friendly community today. The first 100 people to use my code Platoon at checkout receive their first month free. The link is in the description.